Hey guys, here's what we're checking out today is continuation talking about weather compared to climate and looking at climate in a few different areas of the earth. So you did a little investigation last class about the difference between climate and weather. And the key is the time frame. So climate is long-term average. So what we typically see for an area, where weather is what's happening in a certain day or week, really short term in a specific spot. So we might say climate for we'll say weather for Rosemount, Minnesota, but we would say climate for the Midwest or for the United States because that's a much larger area. Now, climate looks at both temperature and precipitation. Is it warm? Is it cool? Is it dry? Is it wet? So you investigated 3 climates in your reading here: tropical, temperate, and polar. And so we asked you guys over here to fill in 3 keywords for each. So you hopefully already have your 3 keywords in. Here's 3 that I might think about. Tropical, I might say sun. That was part of the description here. We know sun gives warmth. That was part of it here. And it's near the equator, it's near the ocean, it's typically rainy. Now again, you might have 3 different words. You can go ahead and add any of these words if you don't have them. Temperate climates are this middle zone right in here between the equator and the poles. So we don't get as direct sunlight and the temperatures aren't quite as warm as the poles. And they have both hot and cold seasons. So I'm going to use both of those words. Hot and cold, depending on the season. Right? And we also know that this does have rain or snow. As far as polar goes, we know that they are cold all the time. They get the least amount of solar energy. So polar is, of course, cold, snow, and we'll say less sun. So 3 key ideas. Again, yours might have been a little bit different, but that's what I was thinking. And you have a couple extra words here. Tropical, temperate, and polar. You might have used some of those too. So here's what you were working on and we'll keep working on today. Each climate has a space here where you're going to come up with a sentence that use some of your 3 words. You're going to put in a plant, an animal, and some weather images to give a good visual of that climate. So you can draw these, you can use Google Image, maybe a little of both, right? Remember our 3 words for polar were cold, snow, and less sun. So just a reminder here, cold, snow, less sun. So I might have my snow. I might draw in some snowflakes coming from a cloud, right? I essentially want to use these words to illustrate and make a visual representation of my climate. So I'm going to put some clouds in, snow. I want to find an animal that would live here and a plant that might live here. So I might go to Google and do polar climate plants, polar climate animals. And I've already got a couple weather things here. And then I want to use a sentence, right? So I want to come up with something describing my picture for polar climate. So we could always start with something like this in polar climate. And then talk about the weather, talk about the climate, talk about the animals. You're going to do the same thing for temperate with visuals and a sentence, and also tropical, visuals and a sentence. So plants, animals, and weather for every single picture. And once that's completed, you should be able then to submit that to the EL assignment for today. Thanks, and you can message either your teacher back or Miss A back if you have any questions.